Hello YouTube, active asshole on pills here with another glorious rant. That's active asshole on pills, kryptonite for conservatives. I'm off my rocker and off my pills and ready to go. Let's do this. But before I start, I'm going to say I might sound a little bit robotic, a little lifeless tonight because, well, a lot of things have happened recently that have taken a lot of the energy out of me, but today, just ignore that. Today, I'm going to talk about the limits of pluralist democracy, and all of you, if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm a big democracy advocate. I believe that we need to democratize finance every bit as much as the political sector. And I believe in pluralism in the sense that I believe that all groups in society should have a say. Now, with that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the danger of pluralist democracy, the inherent flaw of pluralist democracy. And I was initially going to do a video on religion and religious dominionism, typically Christian dominionism, but a lot of hardcore evangelicals that typically vote conservative pitch a bitch fit and start talking about, oh, well, you're always picking on us, man. Even though when we go after them, the same rules apply to religious bigots from Judaism and Islam as well. And I was initially going to make this video about Islam and the threat of political dominionism, that is religious dominionism from their end as well. But I'm gonna nip the whole oh, well, you give special treatment to them bullshit in the bud right here and now by saying, hey, the reason why we only talk about you guys on the right who espouse Christian Reconstructionism or evangelical dominionism, that is the ideology of R.J. Rushdoony and Timothy LaHaye, is because we have to deal with you on the home front. You're our Taliban that we have to deal with. Believe me, if that Taliban over there was the one we had to deal with here at home every fucking day of our lives, we'd be talking about them. And I'm going to drop the bomb right now and say, hey, I'm a secular humanist. I'm an atheist. And a lot of people, and I know that opens a can of worms in and of itself because, I'm in the South and everything, and 96% of the people I deal with in Alabama happen to believe in a theistic God of some form or another, usually based on the Aramaic Levantine civilization concept of what God is. But I'm gonna say that the thing about pluralist democracy, that the one thing that irks me about pluralist democracy and the advocates of pluralist democracy is that many of us have been very ineffective at defending pluralism against the people who would use the very openness of our society, the very pluralism of our society, to overturn it from within. Again, I apologize if the lighting on my camera is very bad. Again, I can't help it. It's the light from the window behind me shines through, and I have yet to get enough money to afford a decent curtain set for it. That, and I'm probably not going to be living in this place much longer anyway. Issues between me and my roommates are getting to the point where I'm about to move in with someone else. But again, pluralism can only stand as long as we give an adamant, combative, offensive and defensive measure against those who would love to destroy it. We cannot have a toothless defense against the powers of dominionism. People who believe they have a manifest destiny to rule the world You can't argue with those kinds of people. Yes, there will always be that 30% of people, whether it's in America or whether it's in other parts of the world, who would love to do away with pluralist society, who would love to do away with equality, both and social and economic justice. But we need to do some. There has to be some kind of of in your face, strident offensive against those who would love to take advantage of our open society. You know, it's amazing. And no, I'm not going to go off on one of those binges where I say, oh, but because Hitler was elected. No, Hitler didn't win the election, though he did get enough votes that he wound up being appointed anyway, just to pacify the sector of society that did vote for him. He was appointed to the chancellorship, and apparently that was the biggest mistake that the president of Germany had made, because it destroyed pluralist democracy in the Weimar Republic forever. At least until Adolf Hitler and the Nazis were defeated at the end of the Second World War. But today, yeah, I know I'm going all over the place. Again, I have no energy behind me, and I have no transcript. I'm just going from, just talking about the issue of the threat of Christian dominionism and Islamic fundamentalism from both sides of the ocean. And yes, there's a Jewish form of fundamentalism that is currently trying to eke its way into the Israeli government and has its tentacles firmly in place. I forget what the name of that denomination of Judaism is, but they believe that any attempt to stop them from pursuing their own manifest destiny to rule is akin to Hitler destroying the Jews. If you try to stop them from lording it over others, then you're a Nazi to them. All right. So with that said, realize that I am on the side of Reform Jews and Orthodox Jews, in the sense that I believe in their right to live and believe however they please. But there's always going to be one segment of any group that's going to want to take over society, that's going to be bigoted. Now, I think Bill Maher, on the issue of Islamic fundamentalism, put it best when he said that the difference between our religious fundamentalists and their religious fundamentalists is that our religious fundamentalists will go to a rally and hold up a sign saying God hates fags. Their religious fundamentalists will walk into a preschool and throw acid into someone's face, and probably pull a pin and blow themselves up and take out about 9 kids with them. All right, this is to those who say, oh, well, you're bigoted against Muslims. No. I understand the danger that radical religious death cults pose to democratization in this world. Because if they can't get their way by using force, by using violence, then they will get their way by way of using the power of the ballot to undermine the will of the entire society. Because remember, religious people vote religiously, assuming, of course, their theology doesn't keep them from voting, like, say, Jehovah's Witnesses. You can't. That was the reason why democracy didn't work in Egypt for so many years, and why we supported a dictatorship in Egypt for over 30 years, was because, hey, it was either support the dictatorship or have democracy and have a situation where the Muslim Brotherhood wound up being in power and pluralistic society wound up being overturned. Again, democracy doesn't always work. I believe in democracy. I support pluralism as a value in society, but I also understand that democracy does not always work. It has its limits. And usually it takes many, many decades of social development before a country is ready for a democracy, to be a democracy. And I also understand that for democracy to work, you have to have a society that is, that is materially well off enough that that the social resentments created as a result of poverty and cheap labor and such do not undermine democracy. That was the whole point of John Maynard Keynes's emphasis on certain social programs, though not as comprehensive as what has been passed in Europe during the days of the Great Depression in the FDR administration. All right, democracy survives so long as we keep those who would hijack it at bay. We have that situation in America today where there's where the same 25 to 30% that voted against FDR in his day have mutated and come back as another terrifying force. And the thing is, we have ourselves to blame just as much as we do the other side, though, because we had the opportunity to stop them many years ago. But our own pluralism, the weakness of our own pluralism, being toothless as it is, and the idealism that we as a group, that we as a sector of society have shown in protecting this purist model of pluralism, has opened us up to a terrifying, insidious, and I do mean insidious, plot by millions and millions of anti-pluralists, authoritarian followers of the very worst nature, to use the ballot box to undermine the very values that we believe in. And that's all I really have to say on it. And I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but I'm active asshole on pills. This is what can I say? I'm on pills. Woo! Yeah. All right, here we go. Why did I say here we go? All right. I'm scatterbrained today. Okay. Peace out, everybody.